Liebe und Sex für seine Studien, die er gemacht hat, für die Bücher, die er veröffentlicht hat. Er hat gesagt, dass Liebe nicht unbedingt nötig sei für Sex und er hat sie auf eine Ebene, also die menschliche Liebe auf eine Ebene mit dem menschlichen Sex auf eine Ebene mit dem Sex von Tieren gehoben. Und ich will gerne wissen, ob er damit einverstanden ist. Kinsey strictly divided sex from love. He said that love is not necessarily needed for sex. And he put human sex on a level with animal sex. Do you agree?
Well, I'm not a sociologist, I'm not a sexologist, I'm not running for office, I'm not selling you anything, I'm just exploring these issues. The audience has to decide for themselves. Each person will read this book and come to a point at which you find given sexual behavior disgusting. As Josef is saying, the book becomes darker as it goes on. He is engaging in many different kinds of sexual activity. And I think every reader has his or her own sexual threshold and will say, John Milk, don't go there, or go for it, John Milk. I would love to do that myself. I think basically, if I agree with Kinsey, and I do, it's that anything goes between consenting adults. Who is to regulate what we do in our own bedrooms? Certainly not our government in a democratic society or any religious group. It's for us to decide for ourselves. And what Kinsey did was to normalize all sorts of sexual relationships. He showed that a percentage of men have engaged in homosexual relationships. And his statistics have held up even in new surveys. He demonstrated that women, 50% of women had had affairs outside of marriage or had had premarital sex. And if this was known, people wouldn't talk about it prior to this. Women were still considered in the Victorian model as reluctant partners in this disgusting act, and they only did it in the dark in order to replicate the species. But in fact, his statistics showed that women were as sexually active or more so than men, and equal partners in this. So he did some great things in demystifying what we know about sex. On the other hand, yes, he was cold and mechanistic, and he did reduce all of our human beauty and our intelligence and our love and our art to the function of animals. We are animals. You know, we are animals. Let's face it. How can we deny it? But on the other hand, there's something else about us too that he denied for the purposes of this fanatical survey.
Did your wife like the book? Ob seine Frau das Buch mag?
Well, you know, Frau Boyle is sort of obligated to like it all. She is a mother of 3 children, and actually, if you consider me, of 4 children. And she very patiently listens to me reading to her each day aloud after I'm done to hear the rhythm of it. She knits, she listens. But my son is also very much involved in guitar and writing his own songs. And for many hours she sits and listens to him play guitar. We need this. We boys, we need this help. So yes, I hope that she do like it.
Aha. Und deine Frau Anna, ist ja hier, mag sie das Buch?
Magst du das Buch? Natürlich mag sie das Buch. Anna ist eine tolle Frau mit extrem gutem Geschmack und exzellenter, ungewöhnlicher Intelligenz. Deswegen mag sie dieses Buch genauso gerne, wie ich es mag.
Okay. About writing, also was das Schreiben betrifft. You seem to be a real addictive writer, also ein wirklich besessener und fast süchtiger Schreiber. Is it like an addiction, maybe not to fall back into former addictions you've been through?
Yeah, very much so. I wrote an essay which many people here will know on T.C.Boyle.com. It's called This Monkey My Back. And it talks about how I became a writer, and it likens this experience of creating something from nothing, writing a song, making a story, as a kind of addiction. You get such a tremendous joy from taking nothing and shaping it and agonizing over it and allowing it to come to fruition and see it be right and enjoy that it is correct and it works, that you immediately want to do it again. An example of this is the book East is East I was telling you about, the Samurai Fan Savannah. I was working on this up in the mountains. I spend a lot of time in the Sequoia National Forest where I can work in the daytime, and then walk out in the woods in the afternoon, like Sir Francis of Assisi. I mean, birds perching on my shoulder. I know all the squirrels by name. I finished East is East by myself. My family was gone. And I felt this incredible exhilaration that you feel when you finish a long project, any project, whatever it is. I felt just great. So the next day was a pure day. There was nothing to do. It was like when you're a child and they call school off because it's snowing that day. And I went out in the woods at 9 in the morning, and I was sitting by a waterfall reading a book, and nature was beautiful, and the butterflies were there, and I put off going to the bar until 5 in the afternoon. And the next day I was so bored I wrote him a story.
So a scene from a normal life from T.C.Boyle. Was that a typical scene?
Yeah, I'm afraid I write about people like Kinsey and Dr. Kellogg because writers themselves are obsessive-compulsive. This is just a disorder that we have. It's obsessive-compulsive behavior. And I am single-minded too. I have narrowed all my pursuits down to one. When I was in my early 20s, I had played on the tennis team in college. And height is an advantage, and I was pretty good. I had a wicked serve. And so for one summer, I was the tennis pro at our local courts. My job was to teach all the women during the week and then beat the husbands on the weekend when they came back. This is a psychologically devastating thing. I have never touched a racket since. What am I going to do? Go to Wimbledon or write books? So, I have focused, like Kinsey, insanely on writing books. This is my life.
Okay, you could have been a great singer too. Also war ein erfolgreich weiß ich gar nicht, aber zumindest ein begnadeter Sänger früher.
I think a great singer is really stretching the point. Again, if you really want to inflict misery on yourselves, go to tcboyle.com, click on the multimedia, and you can hear me doing some songs with the ventilators. In fact, on tcboyle.de, all 7 songs are on there.
So you could jam a little more. He's a great singer too.
When it all comes down, you got to go back to Mother Earth. How's that?
Okay. I think that was really fun tonight for me.
Thank you. And you're suggesting we should get off the stage before they start throwing the dead cats at us, yes?
No, I mean, maybe Jan could sing something, too.
No.
Okay.
No, because thanks very much. Josef Liefers.
Jan's the real deal. He is a recording rock and roller, and he can really do it.
Yes, I can. I could, but I'm not doing it because this is a matter of respect to me. Okay. I'm here because Tom is here, and this is all. It's your part.